Welcome, welcome, welcome. You were in the group listening to BS. T dozed off. Wow, that's a shock. That's a shock. Of course they are. Of course they are. Listen, does it surprise me? No. Does it surprise me? No. I have yet to hear a couple of things from them. First of all, I have yet to hear any information regarding what was said in Amanda's live. I messaged her regarding the information that a number of people put in the chat, that Dora gave my first and last name down and the state I lived in on a phone call, on like a video call with people. And she said, and the people that said she did it said she did it soon after I started talking to her on the phone, like within a couple weeks. So then she said, no, I did it after all of you guys outed yourself because Florida Man was going to dox everybody. We didn't do that video until, I don't know, what was it, May or June, if Scam is in here? Right. Yep, first name and the state. But she gave out my first name, my last name, and my state. So, unfortunately, all I've been getting from Dora in messages is excuses and saying, no, I didn't do that. I never did that. So, listen, when you have a number of different people in a chat, and it was totally unplanned, this wasn't even what it was about last night, okay? When you have different people saying that they were on the phone call and she said that information, and then she tried to lie and say it was when we outed ourselves, but they said that it was also my last name. Sorry. That's pretty shitty. So, in the past, like, Dora and I have messaged like very, very little since I kind of was done, okay? And mainly it was, I texted her about, why are you lying? Why are you telling people we're body shaming when we're not? Why are you doing this? Why is 50 Shades lying about this? The lying's got to stop. Stuff like that. So, listen, they could say whatever they want. What I say, though, is, again, take a look at the track records. Just take a look at the track records. They are fighting for their lives right now. Fighting for their lives right now. Because one thing that people that are viewers of creators on this app don't like is freaking liars. And, all the sketchy shit that has gone on. And again, I'll say it a million times. And I'll bring it up a million times. And this is not going to go away, T. You allowed somebody to dox 5 of us. And you sat by and didn't stop it. And you still haven't apologized. Doing a blanket statement in the middle of the night is not an apology. That's trying to make yourself look better. But it's not the same thing. So, she could say what she wants. They could talk about what they want. That I really don't care. When you have nothing to hide, you don't give a shit. When you have nothing to hide, you don't give a shit. Yeah, you get angry, especially with somebody like Snark, who is just vile and disgusting and calls you names that she knows are political and humanitarian no-no names to call people. When she does that, she's doing it for a reason. She's doing it based on her beliefs, not what the definition of something is. I mean, the girl doesn't even know what slander and defamation is. But she's throwing us all in prison and she's suing us for hate crimes. I mean, come on now. As people get in here, the reason why I started earlier tonight was, of course, Pammy said, well, I'm going on at 8 o'clock tonight and I'm going to educate everybody. Which I don't know why she even is going on at 8 o'clock. From the messages that I've received all day, she's been on all day. She's been on her account. She's been box hopping. She's been on all day. So I'm not really sure, and I could give a rat's ass what she's going to talk about. I can guarantee you I'm not tuning into that. It's not going to happen. So, she can do whatever the hell she wants. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go over everything. And I'm doing this for a final time because it doesn't matter what we say, what facts we put out, what truth we put out. It doesn't matter. Especially when it comes to snark. She doesn't care. I'm going to show you some laws tonight. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. So is Scam. And we're going to put everything out there. And I'm going to put clips of it on my live. And people can listen to us and see the proof that we're putting out. Unlike her. And people can make a decision on their own. I compare it to this, okay? We have all sorts of people in here with different political beliefs. And quite honestly, I could give a rat's ass about that. I'm fine with that. But people that support Trump are going to support him no matter what. People that are Democrats are going to support the Democratic side. It doesn't matter what's put out there, okay? So, there's just some issues that you can talk about, and it doesn't matter, but unlike what Snark does, I'm basing everything tonight on facts. I'm going to show you clips. Scam is going to show you clips, and people can take that for what they want. So I'm moving upstairs. I might break up a little bit as I'm traveling as usual, so bear with me. Now, let's talk about where we are right now and how we got here. And, it's funny. It's this... This picture is kind of where everything started from, okay? With the whole... She wants to say it's all about Florida Man. I'm going to say indirectly it is. Because, as I've shown on here, a number of months ago, she was not okay with Florida Man. She was supporting victims of Florida Man. And I've played that video. You guys have heard her own words saying how he's vile, he's disgusting, this and that. And all of a sudden, wherever she turned, then she's okay with Florida Man. And then what she started doing was going after the victims. Calling 13 a professional victim. Shaming the victims. And that really pissed me off because at that time was when we were definitely in the heat where Florida Man had doxed me and other people, all the disgusting stuff that he's been saying on the app. And then, as we know, all of a sudden the pictures come out of him, burglarizing a business. And now, lo and behold, for somebody who hasn't done anything wrong, he's been off the app now. If that's not saying I've done something wrong and I'm hiding, I don't know what is. So when I started looking into Snark, I knew she was doing something with the Palestinians and Gaza and all that, and I didn't really look into it because, quite honestly, I didn't care about her. To me, she was a nobody. But then when I started looking into it and I started seeing these GoFundMes, and Scam and I started talking, and we started finding things, and then when we brought it up, what did she go to? She went to body shaming, okay, which is why I have this picture up here. She said that she calls me Scammyclaus, and she was body shaming, saying, have you looked in a mirror, all that stuff. So, when that happened, I'm like, okay, the only time people go there rather than talking about facts is because they're hiding something. She didn't base any of what she was saying on any facts or backing up what she was doing with screenshots of stuff. No. The only screenshots she was playing were pictures that she was being provided by Bilal and by Abood. Oh, yeah, I didn't even get there yet, okay? And I'll talk about that a little later. Looking into it, we had questions. We asked her to show proof of where the money was going, all that stuff. And first she said she was going to show it. And she even said, I have so much proof that Scammyclaus can go sit and spin on it. And then, lo and behold, she shows nothing. And she says, I don't have to show a damn thing. Okay, that's fine. Then she says she's going to start a public Discord where she's going to post things. Now, in terms of post things, we had been talking about proof regarding where the money was going. And she doubled down and said, no, I'm not showing any of that. I'm going to be showing stuff that we're doing. Okay, still, that doesn't answer any questions. That's fine. And that's where we are. I mean, let's talk about, she wants to talk about, you guys are bullies and this and that. Okay, so let's talk about a brief history of what I've done on this app, okay? Everybody knows the Jen situation. When she stopped begging and she stopped posting her stuff, I stopped for her washer dryer, for this and that, excuses why I can't work, all this stuff. I need an air conditioner. And she's not doing that anymore, and she's got nobody in there, okay? So that's another person. The Wilson family, who was on here all the time begging for money, saying blessings from God and this and that. I covered them for a long time, okay? They're gone. And if they're on the app, they're not impacting anything. With Sean. Sean was on here for, when I started covering him, for about 4 months and was begging all the time for cars, this and that, not working. We all know that situation. And what is he doing now? He's pretty much off the platform, and When he's begging, he's unfavorited doing it. So I would like to know again from Snark who I have bullied on this app. I bring awareness to people that are scamming people out of money. Maggie Foster. We all know what Maggie's doing. And I cover her and I make videos about her. Okay? So that's what I do, Snark. And when you have GoFundMes that are questionable, when it's not making sense, absolutely I'm going to call that off. So let me start first again, and I know you guys have heard this, but why we're here today is this. And if you guys will listen to this. Hey, Snark. I'm assuming this slanderous post that you made is in reference to me saying this. Myself, Scam Slam, and my babies are willing to each donate. And let's talk about something there. Some person made a comment on the chat in one of the videos about, oh, well, you know, I hope your baby has money to pay for this. That was a username, whatever person said that. So there's that. But somebody thought I have a baby and the baby's going to donate, whatever. $100 to Bilal and to Abood for you to give to them if you can show the money that you've brought in for them via your PayPal, where you're sending the money to and how much, who that person is sending it to, and how it is getting legally over to them in Gaza. Now, this would be a win-win for you because not only would you be helping these two gentlemen who you say you love very much, you're talking about their dire situations. You're talking about how they need this money for medical, for shelter, for food, for their families. That's $300 guaranteed for Abood and $300 guaranteed for Bilal. Plus, there were other people who said that they would donate. And all you have to do is show the proof. Show the proof that the GoFundMes are legitimate. Show that the money is going to who it says it is and what it's being used for. Show the money that you've collected from people on your own PayPal and who you've sent it to and how it's going there. The article that you told us to read says specifically that it's very hard to get money over to Gaza. Then Bilal and Abood are going to be getting $300 each or more for themselves and their family and their medical and their shelter and all that. But here's the thing, Snark. If you don't show it, if you really care for these people, you'll show it. Because that means that money that they're going to receive from us is going to help them even more. And if you don't show it, that means they're not going to get the money. So you can play it any way you want. You can call us every name in the book. You can not answer any questions. You could skirt issues. You can do everything you want. But if you're not transparent with that, that shows one thing. Sending them money. So, that's it in a nutshell. Now, if I was somebody who was doing something on the up and up, and I was trying to have and asking people to donate to these two people, and somebody offered to give each of them $300 for their plight, I would have showed the proof immediately. Because the bottom line that she's trying to do is to get financial help for these people for what they're going through. And it speaks volumes that she's not interested in doing that. So
There's a couple comments. First of all, I think Unknown wants to come up and play a clip. And then Breezy, not Breezy B, but Breezy, which I think is one of Pam's friends,
Yep.
is saying, Scammy, why couldn't you have started a conversation with Snark?
Have
As
you
if we
tried to
didn't try
have
that a million times, but
have you
good.
have you tried to have a conversation with Snark? I've had her in here twice in boxes. She's come into my live and she doesn't want to talk. What she wants to do is name call. She wants to be condescending. You ask a question, she doesn't answer it. She answers it with a question back. I've tried. I've gone into her lives and I've gotten blocked. And then after I got blocked, she says, "Oh, well, come over." Yeah, no, I've tried already.
I have a
Okay.
question for Breezy. Why haven't you had a conversation with her friend?
And listen, we're not coming at you sideways. Okay, that's not what this is about tonight. Money to her and have donated to the GoFundMe have not seen the proof. Okay, she's not showing it on a platform where she is pushing money, but on the same platform she won't show where the money is, which is weird. Any organizations, and I'm saying organization, I'm putting that Americans Against Injustice in the list as an organization, even though it's not even an organization listed anywhere. It's not a 501c3. It's not even listed when you do a search for the organization. The only place it comes up is on TikTok and probably Facebook. But there's no organizers of it. There's no books that show the money, how much they've come in, how much they've raised, how much it goes. Like any other legitimate organization, there's nothing for this group, which that is a red flag. You're not going, well, you know what? Don't even worry about the comments here, okay? Don't even worry about the comments in here. Worry about what myself.
Play a little clip for you, girl, before you get started. I wanted to get a people a little context to what you're speaking on. So y'all tap her screen because it's lagging real bad down there too. And I'm gonna play this song for y'all, and I need y'all to listen to the word scammy and scam Sam. I need y'all ears. Hey, mortgage pay. We getting GFM money. We getting GFM money. We getting GFM money. We getting GFM money. Throwing gold fund bags. Looking sunny. We getting GFM money. Band's gone, what the heck? Dad paid back, but I stay flex. Still out here screaming, who's next? Bill gone, get the bills in check. Car paid up with my fake respect. Said it's struggle, but I'm cashing the check. Talking real tough with a TikTok flex. Trash bags blowing, whole fake. Show them fucking receipts, Pam, because we know that something's fishy. You got 100 GoFundMe's. Like, come on now. Like, wake it up, y'all. Wake up. Wake up. And again,
Period. Period.
I want to know about
Okay. So now we're left with, again, more questions and answers. We've asked a lot of questions, not even about the GoFundMe, but she won't answer. So we're going to go. Yes, because of the fact that she's not transparent like every other legitimate NGO organization that shows their money and where it goes, Bilal and Abood are now at least $350 to $400 in the hole, because that's how much they were going to get from donations from myself, from Scam, from another follower named No Babies, and other people in here that were willing to donate if she showed the transparency and we felt like it was legitimate. So you can tell those two gentlemen that you sit in boxes with that that's where we are now. Okay? You were going to double? Yeah. Okay, so carry on. Yeah, and let her stay in here, guys. Listen, don't do a dialogue. As I said before, there is no dialogue with some of these people. Okay, there's no dialogue. So we'll put the facts out there, and as Snark says, they can sit and spin on it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the GoFundMe that is for Abood. Okay. And these are the questions that I have regarding it. So let me bring up, first of all, the GoFundMe. Now, the GoFundMe, according to what it says, is this. It says that, and this is Snark's GoFundMe. Abood is currently facing an incredibly difficult time. He has been displaced from his home in Gaza, where many people are struggling to find safety and stability. On top of this, Abood is in cancer remission, which makes his situation even more challenging. Without a stable place to live or access to regular medical care, every day is a struggle for him. Abood is alone with no family or local support to help him through these hardships. The funds raised will go directly towards securing safe housing, providing food, and covering essential medical procedures that are critical in his continued recovery. Every contribution will help Abood regain some stability and hope as he works to rebuild his life in the face of overwhelming obstacles. Your support can make a real difference for Abood, offering him the chance to focus on his health and future. Thank you for standing with him during this urgent time. Now, Snark created this GoFundMe May 26th of this year. Now, some of the discrepancies here, first of all. It says that he's been displaced from his home and he's trying to find safety and stability. Now, it came out that he's indeed living with family in the West Bank right now. Sure, there's been no clarification on that. No, it says that he's separated from his family, although it doesn't say what family he has in here. Then all of a sudden, on the 25th of July, today while seeking aid, Abood's brother suffered 2 broken legs. A second brother had to have stitches in his head. They both need antibiotics and something for pain. So if he's unable to get to where his family is, how is he going to get money and aid to his brothers that are not with him? They're in Gaza and he is in the West Bank. So again, that's another question that was brought up. Okay. Continuing on with him. He has more than one GoFundMe. He has two GoFundMes that I found, and I'm going to say there's probably more. You know what, God, listen, don't tell people to shut up in here, please. If mods, if she's being, if she's going left, you can mute her and she can just stay in here and listen, okay? Because this isn't going to be a free for all like Snark's Lives, where all she does is name call and block people and all that. It's not going to happen. So again, in the GoFundMe's, it doesn't really mention any family members. It says he's away from his family. He's living with family. I guarantee you, if you look on GoFundMe and we had more information, I guarantee you that there are other GoFundMe's for this family. I haven't found them, but what I have found is that when these people are talking about family, and we found this, was it with Bilal that someone in his family has a GoFundMe too? Or was GoFundMe is simple. It's because they're using that for sympathy. If you see his current pictures, he looks nothing like that. And we'll talk about current pictures in a minute. His location on TickLeap, along with Bilal, says Israel. Now, today, Snark said that we were stupid, of course, calling us all names, saying that because of geolocation and all the problems with technology and all that stuff, the closest location that is going to be picked up as a location for these people is Israel. That's a pile of crap, because if you search gifts every week, I could block that if I wanted to. I could opt out of it and you would see nothing. It would say no earnings, but I don't do that. I show my earnings. Both Bilal and Abood, their earnings are not showing. You're going to have to come in and leave if I'm lagging, because it's not doing it for everybody. I am right underneath my router right now downstairs, and I have a very strong signal right now, and I don't have anything open on my phone. So I can't. It doesn't matter if there's an update. My phone automatically updates. So if you're having a hard time, is everybody having a hard time, or is it just a couple people? Okay, so if it's good for some people, and it's not good for others, then if it's a problem, then come back in. Okay. So again, you have to manually opt out of showing your earnings. The way it sounds in the GoFundMe is that he needs help. He doesn't have a place to live. He needs shelter. He needs food, covering with essentials, blah, blah, blah. I've showed you the pictures of this guy, recent pictures within the past month. And the picture that they're describing that his struggles are do not compare to the pictures on his TikTok account. Period. And just to be clear again, I will show that. I will show the pictures, just so you know I'm not bullshitting. Okay? These are recent pictures. Now, if they're going to say, oh, these were older pictures, well, they can do that. But I'm going to show you the dates here. Okay, so this is May. She made the GoFundMe the end of May, saying that he was in need of medical help and all that, and a place to live. Okay? That's an old one. That's an old one. I'm not going to show kids. Lots of pictures of people with cans. And oh, by the way, I did reverse imaging with this, and pictures exactly like this have been used over and over and over again on people's TikTok pages to talk about Gaza, which again concerns me because I did a reverse search and it came up all over the place. Here's the organization that Pam is a part of that does not exist anywhere except on TikTok and maybe Facebook. This is June 14th. Okay, and he's not even in the Gaza Strait right now. He's in Nablus, which is on the West Bank. So there's that. Okay, this is from June 10th. Do you understand why I'm
They have
posting things?
note that the two guys in the back seat of that car, they also had cigarettes in their hand. Look, oh, there.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
So again, you want to ask why I have questions? This is why I have questions. The GoFundMe paints the picture of somebody that is in dire need of money for medical help, money for food, money for shelter, which, based on the pictures that I've seen and her herself saying that he's living with family, doesn't make any sense. Okay, other things, we've seen the pictures of him walking around the beautiful rose garden. We've seen him in beautiful clothes walking around sections of the West Bank. I don't understand. I don't understand how the GoFundMe and what he posts himself does not equate to the situation that they are reporting that he's in. Scam, where do you want to go next with this? What's one of your discrepancies that you want to point out?
Let me get my list out here. Well, there's the specific stuff about the cows.
Yeah. Talk about that again. Talk
mean,
about that.
Well, I mean, for her to say that, that this is about Florida Man, I started suspecting there was something up a couple of months ago when I ended up scrolling into one of her lives, because I didn't regularly watch her or anything either, but I scrolled in and it was during the time that they were collecting money for cows. And I don't recall the amounts, okay? So don't quote me on the exact amounts here, but let's say she said a cow was, I don't know, $500. And then apparently one of these guys contacted her or got in the box and said, "Oh, well, we have enough for one cow, but now we can get another cow. We have an opportunity to get a second cow." And everybody seemed all excited. Pam seemed very excited about that. And then she was trying to raise money to get another cow. And if you know anything about these type of if you know anything about scams and overseas scams, and we've covered some of them when we've watched the Scamfish episodes, right? It's not all just romance scams. There are scams, and this is literally what it's called. It's called a pig butchering scam. So if you don't know what that is, you can look that up. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it's basically like they get you to donate a little bit, but then it's always something else comes up, like, oh, here's another opportunity, or if you invest more, you can make back more. And it's kind of like, they usually do it with investment type of schemes.
Right, right.
But it seemed like that to me, right? It seemed really odd that they wouldn't just be, very grateful for being able to get the one cow and try to move forward with that. That immediately it was brought up to start raising, like I think they had just finished like raising enough for one, and now they want to start raising again for another one. And so I don't never know what happened with that. Like, I really don't, because I
Well,
didn't keep up.
because there's no receipts. I mean, and there's been no videos about, hey, I mean, that one cow video that they show, and then all of a sudden they show prepackaged goat meat with from 2023 prior to October 7th. The
Right.
dates are
And
clearly on the packages. It's fresh meat, and it says June of 2023. So they're clipping pieces together to make it look like this is what we're doing now. Look at all this meat we're giving away. But it was from 2 years ago.
right. And the cows that they were supposed to be using to, provide food, they said that that was supposed to go to the families living in the tents, struggling in, with starvation in Gaza.
Right. And the
But yeah,
whole
the sign said it was for cancer patients. And then when they were giving it out, like, that wasn't like that even seemed shady, because they weren't giving it out in a hospital. They were giving it out at some random apartment building. Like, and we
and
also
again,
questioned the signage. Like, how did they, they have nothing, but they came up with this professional sign to put on there with his picture on it and everything. And, and the labels and the packaging and all of that. Like, how would they have the resources to do all of that?
yeah, and again, how did we realize that this wasn't a hospital? There were a lot of signs. First of all, the elevators that they were going in and out of are not the size of elevators in a hospital, because you have to be able to roll a gurney in and out. And the elevators were normal apartment size, hotel size elevators. If it was a hospital, it definitely was not an antiseptic hospital, because it was not clean. What and if they're delivering it to people that have cancer in a hospital, how are they going to cook in a hospital room? I mean,
Yeah,
all
and
of
you
these
could
questions.
see in the background of the one, a couple of the frames, the stairwell behind them. Like, it wasn't an interior stairwell, right? It was like an exterior stairwell, like
Right,
how some apartment complexes are.
right.
In a hospital, there wouldn't be an open stairwell like that leading to the outside.
No. And I do have to play this clip while we're talking about the cow. I think this is yet again.
Ass a scammer, and your ass a scammer. I'm in a box with three scamming ass motherfuckers. Four, and now they trying to get gifts to goddamn scam. Your ass got called out by Scammyclaus for that bullshit with no receipts. Goddamn cows cost $7,000 motherfucking dollars in motherfucking around the motherfucking world. Your ass just mad because you racist.
That was one of the best clips ever. So, the whole thing, and if you guys remember the video itself, they show this cow, and then all of a sudden they show packaged meat. That wasn't cow. So, and it had a date on it from 2 years ago. So again, an inconsistency, something that has not been explained, which leads to more questions. Anything else about that whole food thing?
Um, Well, I want to know. Okay, this has to do with the food and the water, kind of. It's combined. So, if they were raising, and I don't know, because, and maybe somebody who was listening at that time can explain it or let us know. If they were raising money for water trucks and cows, how were people sending money to donate toward that? Were they sending it to the GoFundMe's? Because those GoFundMe's don't specifically mention anything about trying to buy cows or provide water. They specifically talk about helping Abood and Bilal, and there's one for the other friend, Mahmoud. It specifically talks about helping their families, specifically with medications and daily needs and a bunch of other things. So, what GoFundMe were people donating to where it was supposed to provide to like the whole encampment of people food and water?
Well,
Because that's
there's
not mentioned in any of the GoFundMe's. So how were they collecting that money?
it was TikTok gifts, somebody said. Okay, so
Oh.
TikTok gifts, which according to Snark, she said that these two gentlemen have immediate access to TikTok gifts. I want to know what person has immediate access to TikTok gifts. I've never heard of that. I know for us, there's a payout on Wednesdays. When you have a TikTok account, from what I know from here, and I don't know if it's any different, you need to have a PayPal account, and PayPal every country is different. Every country is different, huh?
How would
I'll look into that.
how would they track that? Like if they said, just for instance, that they need $400 for a water truck. I don't know how much it is, okay? I don't recall hearing, but if they said we need $400 for a water truck and send all your gifts to whoever, this guy, to pay for that. I mean, how do they know what that's equating to? Like, are they calculating it up as it goes? How do they know if they collected 400 or not? How do they
And
know if they only collected 100?
it,
How do they know if they collected 500? Like,
and this
how?
is the other thing, Scam. Again, Tick Leap is available. Okay, I've seen it available in both Israel and people that have their country of origin where they are is Palestine. And I've been able to see how much money these get, just like over here in the United States. Why did they opt out? And why can't you see what money they're bringing in? Again,
Yeah,
it's
I
another
mean,
question.
it would be one thing if they showed what their gift payout was, and then they were keeping track every week or every day, or how, whatever their schedule is. It doesn't even really matter. Like, if they were showing their progress as to meeting that goal all along the way, so that they knew how much more they needed. Like, we've collected this much, that we've whatever, we the goal's 400, we've gotten 200 so far, and whatever. Like,
And
I don't
listen,
recall ever hearing that being done, like, at all, to let
and,
anybody know the progress or what was
right,
collected by
right, and
gifts.
and listen, if they are able to collect it every day, okay, why are they blocking what they're getting? Why can't we see it on TickLeap? I know as a fact that people have sent money to Snark to her PayPal, which
Actually,
is
I
why.
thought it was to her Venmo, but yeah.
No, I saw a
Oh,
PayPal receipt. I saw a
oh, okay.
PayPal receipt.
I
So
think
if
I
she has
saw a
Venmo
Venmo.
also, I mean, I don't know about that. I'm basing it on PayPal. Because that's the receipts that I've seen.
Well, I found a Venmo, and the Venmo's open, like, with all the transactions. So,
So she might be using two financial apps to collect money. Okay. Um, So again, if they're getting gifts and people are getting gifts, we're going to talk about that down in a little while, because I'm going to talk about um, um, sending gifts which turn into money to people that you have not done due diligence on in terms of being legal. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that. No, that's fine, scamming words. And I'm going to talk about that in a little while. So with Bilal, okay, multiple GoFundmes. I want to talk about, and I showed this video before, and I'm telling you, this one pisses me off And I'll explain it again for those of you that didn't see it, okay? This is a video that he posted on July 16th. Now, notice there's pew pew fire, but nobody's running. Nobody's scared. Nobody's taking cover. They're all kind of watching, which is weird. Okay, because generally, if you're in a war zone and you hear bombs or you hear gunfire, you're going to take cover. Okay? And what did somebody find out? That just like how it is edited words, scammy words, I'm going to show you. Like I put music on videos. What he did was he put this original sound of that. Now, why? Why? What was the point of that? Okay? The only point of that, again, and this is exactly, and let me say this. This could very well be legitimate, okay? These GoFundMes and the money, but we don't know that because she refuses to give any information out. But again, this is another question. The only reason why you would do this exactly is for manipulation, for emotional manipulation. Oh my God, look at where I live. Look at what I'm dealing with. There's pew pews all over the place. You know, there's bombs going off. But he put that sound over it. And he was not smart enough to realize there were people that would find that and realize, why aren't people running away? Why are they standing wide out in the open, not even being affected by what they're hearing? So again, very strange. Very strange.
Well, and during one of her lives, one of the gentlemen was in a box and was saying that he was under pew pew fire. He said, "I'm under pew pew fire right now." And he was saying that there were helicopters flying over. He was saying, "Can you hear this? Can you hear this?" And they're all saying that they could hear it. People in the boxes and people in the chat, they're like, "Yeah, we hear it." I didn't hear a thing, and I had the volume all the way up. I know what pew pew fire sounds like. I know what helicopters sound like. I didn't hear anything in the background at all. So why would he have been doing that? We know why, right?
For sympathy. He wanted people to think he was in dire fear of his life, and this is what he goes with on a daily basis. Now, does that happen in Gaza? Yes. I'm sure there are times where you hear that. But why superimpose that on a video that doesn't actually have that sound in it? You do it because you're trying to manipulate people emotionally to make them feel that they have to send money because I'm going through dire straits. I want to show you, this is another video here. Earthquake aids, God is sufficient for me, and he is the best disposer of affairs. Okay? This was one of his videos too. I'm not really sure, again, why he posted this video. I don't know if he was trying to, with the pew pew video, is this something that's supposed to be nefarious? I know that Guardians of Valor, who is a decorated, retired Navy veteran, said immediately, because obviously it's a prop plane. I here in the United States, we have airplanes. What are they? C-3s, which are those huge transport airplanes that deliver resources. They deliver jeeps. I mean, these things are lift heavy MF and things. Okay, so not really sure why this was here. You know, they were saying over there, you guys are so stupid because Scam said it just looks like a normal everyday plane. You know, they're picking and choosing what they want to say. So they were saying, oh, well, Scam must feel really like this because she said it was an everyday plane. No, what we said is it just looks like a normal plane, not a military plane. which is what I feel he was trying to go at here. Making it, again, feel like he's in dive. I want to show you something else, which is absolute bullshit. These are the comments, okay, that people put in their videos all the time. Okay? Comments of just names of people, because they think that if you put these comments in there with lots of words, it's going to get pushed out more on the FYP. Okay? It's ridiculous. And look here.
Not real comments, just
Look at Bilal did say this plane is dropping aid over Gaza. Awesome. That answers my question. That answers my question right there. So good. He's showing aid being dropped over Gaza. So obviously there is aid getting into Gaza.
yeah. I thought Pam said that wasn't happening. I'm so confused.
I am too. I am very confused. What were some? Let me bring up my list again.
I have more on my list.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you're
So
ready.
questions on the video. Questions on the video with a pew pew. Still, I would like to get this. I would like people to ask her about what is this organization, Americans Against Injustice. It's not listed anywhere. It's not a organization based here in the United States because there's nothing about them here in the United States. It's only something that they're printing out with a color printer and holding signs up about it and putting it next to trucks that are delivering water. And before it goes anywhere, no, I am not against people delivering water, okay? Because I'm sure that's going to be the next twisted effing thing they're going to say. But the question is, where is it based? Where are these water deliveries coming from? Because obviously they've got some very nice color printers that they're able to keep printing out these signs. But since we don't know anything about the company or this organization, we don't know their funding, we don't know how much money it is, we have no answers about it. Who has the books? That collect donations will answer in a heartbeat. And in fact, if you go on any organizations and you look at their financials, it'll break down exactly how much money they've taken in, what it's gone for. X, Y, and Z answers the questions. And one other thing, and then Scam, I'll give you, you can talk about your stuff. The GoFundMes for these two gentlemen, two of the GoFundMes were created by Pam. Okay. It has her name on it as the one that created it. And if you go to make a payment, it will say her name, and then underneath it, it will have an at and then somebody's name who is obviously Arabic. Okay. And I've said this before. I have a GoFundMe, or not a GoFundMe. I have a PayPal. I have Venmo and all that. And any person that I have ever sent money to, their name, and then underneath it where it has the at, it is also their name. Or it's their small business. So why is it that the PayPal is in somebody else's name, but it's your PayPal? That makes no sense. And again, if she's collecting money on her PayPal for these guys, then yes, it is income that she's getting in that she has to claim as income when she does her taxes. How do I know that? Because even though I want to say last year, I donated about $3,800 from TikTok money that I earned through gifts. And I made sure I kept everything. And I reported every single penny that I got on TikTok when I did my taxes. Yes, you have to report that. So it's very simple. I can open up my PayPal right now. I can go to, I can sort my transactions. I can sort my DoorDash. I can sort my, anything else I use it for. All the people that I donate to, all the organizations that are 501(c)(3)s that show how much money they get in every year. I can go to TikTok, I can go to PayPal, and I can sort all that and show you exactly how much money I've gotten in from TikTok payouts every Wednesday. It is very simple to show how much money you've gotten on your PayPals every month in donations. Scam, your turn. It's like a tennis match.
So the other day, herself and Wasty Casey were referencing us to an article by The Guardian. And it had to do with quote unquote grassroots type of organizations. And they said that they are like one of them. They're like one of the organizations that are being discussed in that article. But in that article, it clearly said that organizations like that are avoiding completely using GoFundMe to collect any funds because most of the funds end up being returned or rejected. The GoFundMe's shut down, all of that. So why are they pushing these GoFundMes when, I mean, they told us to read the article by The Guardian. The Guardian saying grassroots campaigns like theirs don't use GoFundMe because of all of these issues. So they're basically saying the GoFundMe monies do not get to where they need to go. So why are they pushing these GoFundMes, and how is this GoFundMe getting there, money getting there, if none of these other organizations can get that GoFundMe money over there? The article mentioned that they were using different types of like wire transfers and things like that.
Yeah, and something that we've talked about, okay? Um Firstly, if you can get the money over there, and it said it in the article too, chances are you may need to use a broker. And a broker, what did it say, takes 40% of the money?
40%. It's usually 30 to 40% to convert the digital monies into actual cash over there. And so it is bringing down, it's also, it's making digital currency very difficult to use and bringing actually down the value of it.
Yep. Yep. And that was an article that they suggested. And I love when that happens. I love when somebody, and that was Wasty Casey was talking about. I love when somebody thinks that they have big balls and they're going to prove something wrong. They're going to prove that we're wrong. And then you read the article and it's actually proving what we're saying. You know what I mean? That's like the best thing in the world. And again, that goes to show you that people like Wasty Casey is not doing the research. He probably read the headline and it was something positive for their cause over there and was like, oh, everybody needs to read it, but didn't read the whole thing. And that's the difference. We are researching, we're looking at things, we're showing proof of things, we're saying questions that we have, questions that she won't answer. And I'm saying all this stuff, and Scam and Breezy B has helped, and so many people here have helped send information to us for us to go through. And that's why we're putting this out. If you're comfortable after my live today, because there's still more information I'm going to show, if you're comfortable that this is a legit organization, then do what you want to do with it. Okay, but what I do on here, what Scam Slam does on here, is we want to make sure that you are educated. Whether it's a scammer like Maggie, whether it's a beggar like Sean, we want to make sure you have all the information you need to make that decision where you say, you know what? I feel good about this organization. I'm going to donate to them. And if that's what you want to do, obviously I'm not going to stop you, but I want you to make sure that you're making a educated decision based on facts, based on questions that are coming up, not based on snark telling you what's going on, snark telling you what to do to donate, and again on the back end, uh, being racist herself, calling people all sorts of disgusting names and words based on her opinion and not showing facts. That's what we're trying to put out here. Okay. Scam, what else? You have something else you want to share?
Yes, I do. You had brought up how um, different things have been being used to, trigger an emotional response and manipulate people into donating with using that fake sound,
Yep.
that reproduced sound on the video. I mean, I think it is of note that Snark sent inappropriate photos and videos
Yep.
of unalive children to donors to try to, get their emotions involved and, make them feel like they had to donate. It was basically, manipulating them into feeling like they had to donate to, to do
And, and,
something to stop
and let's
this.
let's talk about
And we
that
don't know
again.
whose, children those are
And
either.
let's talk about that again. And I want to clear up something that somebody did clarify, and I appreciate Dawn for clarifying it. But as a reminder, today Dawn, Mimi of whoever, she wanted to play games by going back and forth into Snarks Live and here, and we did see a comment where she made, "Oh, I go over there, but I just play their game." We played a game today, Dawn, and you lost because we played the block game and your ass was kicked out of here. So, but one thing I do want to say that she did clear up is the pictures of the unalived children and babies that Snark has been sending to people, sending to donors to pull on their heartstrings, are Abood's nephews. Abood's nephews. They're not his children. So she's sending pictures of somebody else's kids, somebody she doesn't even know. She knows Abood, she knows Bilal. I don't know if other people related to these kids are in their boxes, but she is sending those pictures to people that she doesn't even know to justify why she is asking for money. That is the most vile, disgusting thing. And I knew she was gonna. I said before she defended her actions what she was gonna say. She said people need to see what's going on here. No, we don't need to see deceased babies. She thinks that we are so unintelligent, and she is the supreme being of intelligence, that we don't know and acknowledge what is going on. We know there is a genocide. We know people are dying on a daily basis. We know that people are starving. We know, we have seen the reports. We have seen reports from different news agencies. We know it is hard getting relief supplies in there. We know it is hard to get money in there to help these people, which I have another question. How is it that a granny from Pennsylvania can get money into people in Gaza when the UN, when the State Department, when other countries around the world cannot do it? What is your secret? You need to share your contacts at the UN.
Also, in that article in the Guardian, any other grassroots efforts were having difficulties. And if you read through the whole entire article, there was a woman or a family that this one organization was helping, And the woman in Gaza reached out to them and said, "Don't even try to send us anything else right now because there's no way that we're going to be able to get it. So
Yep.
don't even bother trying right now." And she said something like, "I really hate to say this, because we do need the help, but like, there's just literally no way for us to get it." And I'm just summarizing, but
Right.
yeah.
Right. Exactly. And Sandy, exactly. You know, a person like Snark with the stance she has, she doesn't want to admit that people that are calling her out for what she's doing agree with her on a lot of her beliefs of what's going on over there. Because if we agree with her on what's going on and she admits that, but we're still calling her out for this sketchy financial stuff, then people would have to see that and say, well, wait a minute. Scammy and you agree on a lot of stuff, but it's just this GoFundMe. Why don't you just show the GoFundMe? But she wants to paint me, and she said it about everybody over here, that we're stupid. We are supporting children getting unalived over there. We support child unaliving. We don't believe there is all this stuff is happening. She does that because that's what fits the agenda and the talking point that she wants to use.
Scammy, I want to point out in the comments, Duchess of Dallas said that she has another recording that she sent to her.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to
maybe.
play that after. I have it. I
Okay.
have it.
Okay.
So I will play that after. Okay. So again, what I had asked her for, how much money have you collected on the GoFundMe's? How much have you collected on your personal? Now we know that there's a Venmo, so two different accounts. How much money have you collected? Who have you sent it to? How much did you send to those people? Where did the middleman send the money to? Where did that money go? What was purchased? People that donate should be asking these questions. People in her boxes that are thinking of donating should ask these questions. What that would be like, you're walking in New York City and somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I have a GoFundMe for people in the Sudan who are being starved right now. Will you donate to me?" Well, I know nothing about you. I don't know what, or, oh, well, I'm with this organization. Here's a picture of us. But these people really need your money. Here's a picture of babies that are unaliving. So will you send us money? That's not proof, folks. That's not proof. People need to do their due diligence with who they're sending their money for and where it's going. You know, there's another person that does the same thing on this app, and you know who it is? Maggie Foster. How many times have people said to Maggie Foster, "Maggie, what are you buying with your money?" None of your business. None of your business. I'm not going to tell you. You don't need to know. She never shows receipts. She never shows how much money she's collected. She never shows where the money went to. And again, another parallel between somebody on here that's a beggar and a scammer and this whole situation. What are you hiding? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It was very evident today. I was on this morning, and then I had stuff to do this afternoon, and I kept getting messages. Oh, Snark is in this person's box now. Oh, Snark is live. Snark is here, and Snark is there. The only time you are freakishly hopping into everybody's box that you can and going live multiple times a day to get on there and scream about something is because you are trying to defend your actions and you are trying to get your message out to people. Ironically, before I went on live tonight, when I said I was going on at 8. You know, one thing that you won't see many people in awareness doing is box hopping as much as these people do. We don't need to because we have proof of everything. We don't have to try to convince people with our words. We try to convince people with the truth and with receipts. We don't need to be on all day box hopping. And that was very, very obvious today. So she could say she's not bothered by this. Oh, she is bothered by this. She is bothered by this. And I'm glad, because you know what? I'm hoping that at the end of this, because I have some organizations that are NGO organizations that are legit organizations for people to donate. What else do you got, Scam? Anything else? Breezy, what do you have? What do you want to talk about?
Hi, I wasn't sure if either of y'all saw it. I was looking through the videos. I can't remember if it was Abood or Bilal. I want to say Abood. But he has videos of showing, like, basically saying that people had sent them money. So he was going around just handing $50. It looked like obviously it wasn't $50 because over there it's something different, but it looked like 50. Just handing it to random people. Like sometimes just a hand would stick out of like a tent and grab the 50, and like it I don't know, it just I wouldn't imagine, even in a famine, in a situation like that where people are being, even when they get aid and it's being stolen, situations like that, that anybody giving out legitimate aid is just going around handing out cash.
Right, exactly.
And
Because
it was the same looking bill every time too. It looked exactly the same.
and again, according to what's going on over there, many of the stores, the mom and pop stores, have been they're no longer in existence because of the bombings. The prices of stuff over there is so high because of supply and demand. So we heard the story about the price of buying a cow, where it used to be something like what, $700 or something, and now it's up to about 7,000, something like that. So absolutely, there's supply and demand. It happens here all the time in the United States. Think about the low cost of oil right now to heat your house. Oil prices are at a low right now. Why? Because not too many people are using it. But wait till the winter comes, when we have sub-zero temperatures. Oil prices are going to be $1 more than it is now, if not more. Supply and demand. That's unfortunately how it works. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the fluctuation in prices, but that's what happens. Think about the hurricanes down in Florida a couple years ago. Gas prices, they gouged people. They put gas prices up $2, $3 a gallon because these people are scum sucking pigs, and they knew that they were going to be able to get that money out of people. Greed, exactly. Scam, do you have another do you have something else?
I do have one other thing, and it kind of relates to something that I guess we'll talk about when we get to talking more about the GoFundMe's that I sent you.
Yeah.
But one of the persons that she mentioned yesterday morning, his name is Mahmood, and she said that he's a very close friend of Abood's, and they're in that one picture together that I posted, right? And she didn't say specifically how, but I did get a clip of it. She said that he helps with the water deliveries, and in fact, I did send you Scammyclaus screenshots where people are holding up, or signs are posted with his name saying that he sponsored this water delivery. So it sounds
Right.
like he's the one that's kind of like paying for it or arranging it or responsible for it or something. That gentleman has a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I'm
So
not
how
sure.
is he?
That's him,
How
right?
is he? Yes. How is he sponsoring and doing all this stuff with regard to these water deliveries? When and look at his GoFundMe. It says that he's a 30-year-old fruit and falafel vendor.
Nablus. Is
Yes.
it Nablus on the? Wait a minute. I don't know my geography of Palestine, and I'm sure I'm going to get blasted for that. But is it Nablus in the West Bank?
I believe so, from what
Okay.
I looked at.
Well,
Yes.
I'll
Uh,
read this. I'll read this.
Thank you.
Meet Mahmoud Maroof, a 30-year-old fruit and falafel vendor from the historic city of Nablus, Palestine. Mahmoud and his siblings are the caretakers for his elderly and chronically ill parents who rely on him for their daily needs, medical care, and survival. Mahmoud is hoping to buy his father an electric wheelchair. Mahmoud's life is a daily act of resilience. Like many Palestinians in the West Bank, he struggles to make ends meet under the new weight of crippling occupation. Restrictions on movement, frequent military incursions, road closures, and economic instability have made earning a living nearly impossible. His small food stall is often his only source of income, but even that is not guaranteed. Any day he could be shut down or caught in the crossfire of the violence, kind of like the crossfire in Bilal's video. Yeah, okay. Um, Living under constant threat, Mahmoud works in fear that a clash, a raid, or another act of aggression could rob him of everything, including his life and lives of the ones he loves. Yet, despite this is way too long. He needs help. The income from the modest cannot cover the increasing medical costs for his parents, basic household expenses, or the many challenges that come with surviving in a region under occupation. Secure proper medical care and medication for his parents, maintain and possibly expand his small food. Why would he expand his small food business if he's not getting any business now and he's afraid he's going to be robbed? That makes no sense. What?
That should be the last thing on your mind is
I know.
expanding your business.
Growth, expansion, a franchising. What the hell? Maintain and possibly expand his small food business, cover housing, food, and essential living expenses, and provide some sense of stability and safety amid an unstable reality. Oh my God.
But he runs a food store.
And
A
how
food
is
cart.
how is he getting how is he
Well, I will say when you look up
I can't.
who
I
is
can't.
donating, when you look up who is providing water trucks in Gaza, it says UNICEF, Oxfam, Human Appeal, and the grassroots project Water is Life Gaza. These are all organizations, 501c3s. That is who's providing the water. Now there may be citizens there that help, give it out to people, things like that. But as far as providing it, these are organizations providing these water trucks.
Okay, but look at that. Okay, that's what the sign on the truck says. And then I ran it through Google Translate. That's the next screenshot, Scammy, so you can read exactly what it says.
Okay.
It's a translation.
So it says, it's going to be hard to read. It says, providing water, the message of God, may God bless him and grant him peace. The best charity is providing water. Generous donation from Mahmoud Maroof, Nablus, the Mountain of Fire.
So how is he sponsoring the truck and all? He's the one supposed. It sounds like he's the one that paid for it. How could he afford to pay for this if he needs a GoFundMe for his family? And not only that, notice in the GoFundMe, there is nothing at all. Look, if this is his passion, if he's really involved with this and doing this, that's wonderful. And if that's his passion and he's able to get water in there, that is amazing. But you would think that if that was what he was actually doing, it would be mentioned in his GoFundMe. Not that he's a fruit and falafel cart person. Like you would think that it would say, like, he is working really hard, like trying to get the water into Gaza. Like, you would think he would be trying to get donations to go toward those water trucks, not to his own personal needs. And you would think there would be something in that GoFundMe mentioned about his efforts, what he's doing, and using some of the funds for that.
And I don't see them taking the time to put donation stickers on these water trucks. They're just getting them in and getting water to people. So he's got to be making his own stickers or signs to put on just these trucks that are coming in, because no truck that comes in is going to stop and put a sign on it for the donation. I mean, it might have Oxfam on the side or something, but that's about it.
But this is the other thing, Breezy. Who's to say that this is not the same truck And all they keep doing is putting different signs next to the truck saying all these people donated money. How many water trucks have been there? You know what I mean? How many different trucks have been there? Or is this just the same truck and they just keep putting different signs on it? I
Well,
mean,
actually,
again,
I've looked at a couple of videos, and I mean, it could still be the same truck that has been there multiple times. But if you look at it, it does, it does look like the same truck. It's blue in color on the front, and it's a silver tank on the back, I think, or
right,
something. It's
right.
like blue. It's like blue and silver. I mean, it could be the same truck that goes there every time, or not. We don't know.
And this is, and again, you know what? This is where being transparent on the finances would help. Because if we saw that there were 4 purchases for water trucks and there were 4 separate payments, then that at least is showing that you're trying to show where this money is going legally. You know what I mean? But when there's nothing, then we sit here and we try to make heads or tails of it. And it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Um, okay, that's just that stuff. Um, this is when is this from? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got a nice Apple Watch, that's for sure.
I just happened to notice that in one of the videos because somebody pointed out in one of the videos, one of the guys that looked like they were wearing a Rolex or something, and I happened to see in that one video it looked like he was wearing an Apple Watch and
Yeah.
had a pretty new looking phone. I mean,
Um,
I've been told by people that like there is no cell service or hardly even any Wi-Fi in a lot of those areas, but yet they are live on TikTok in these boxes for hours and hours and hours every single day. Like, how do they have the connection strength? I mean, yesterday my internet was horrible. I couldn't get on. Like, how do
and
they?
and y'all know my internet.
And they always
Right.
use
I mean, I
that
couldn't get on
really
for a
sweet
couple hours
language.
yesterday. Like,
They always call everybody honey or sweetie or you're an angel. It's always, real sweet language they use.
I know that over in the war with Ukraine and Russia, I know a couple years ago that Elon Musk gave the Ukrainian government access to his Starlink service and gave them free access to it, supplied all the hardware that they needed and all that. I haven't heard anything about Elon doing that in Gaza for these people. I mean, is it a possibility? Yes, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Do you have any other discrepancies? Because I'm all out of my discrepancies. I've covered all of them that
yeah,
I
I
can.
think that's pretty much my list. I did want to point out Imperfect Survivor said, "Did you see my comment about the same plates on the water truck?" So I didn't see the original comment, but I think she's saying
Ah,
that in some of the video clips, the license plate number matches up. That it is the same truck.
I dig it. Okay, great. I'm telling you. You
I sent them a Starlink. I hope you're joking because
wait, who what? Pam sent them a start.
comment
Yeah, I
says
know.
Pam sent them Starlink.
Yeah, don't start me.
I want to see it. She's all about asking other people to send their money. And I keep saying this. I want to see how much she sent of her own money. Because I guarantee you, she has not sent anywhere near, if anything, and I'm not talking about TikTok gifts that she regifts to them or that they get in her lives. I would be curious to see how much of her money she has sent to either of these men while she's asking other people who are also having a hard time financially. Everybody is right now to
Yeah.
send their money.
And let's face it. I mean, well, do I want to go there?
I bet you've sent more scammy than she has overseas already.
I'm sure. I'm sure I have. And I posted those receipts. I posted those receipts where it went. I
I
did.
know what you're thinking, though. I get you. I know what you're thinking.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to lower myself to her level. Not going to do it. Um, okay. There are other things that I put in the uh, the Discord that I want to share with you guys. Okay, and this is some research that I did today, and I wanted to read some stuff. First of all, Report international scams at econsumer.gov, okay? The official website of the Federal Trade Commission protecting American consumers for over 100 years. Okay? If you want to check, please go to this website. Okay? You can read up on what it says and do what you want with it. Okay? Do what you want with that information. Number 2, I want to talk about alternatives. Okay? Alternatives that are NGO organizations. Now, NGO stands for non-governmental organizations. We know how much Scammy Pammy hates our government. And if you donate anything that is sanctioned by our government, she's going to give you every single excuse why it's not going to get there, why our government is so bad, and everything. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I found NGO organizations, okay? Non-governmental organizations that you can donate to. And I just want to read this quickly, okay? And I'm going to post these so everybody can see them. There are many reputable non-government organizations, NGOs, and international organizations working to provide humanitarian aid in Gaza, and donations are a vital way to support their efforts. Some of the organizations with approved operations or a strong track record in delivering aid to Gaza include the UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Work Agencies for Palestine Refugees. That's who I sent the money to. Provides essential services, including education, healthcare, and emergency assistance to Palestinian refugees. UNICEF. We all know UNICEF. Focuses on the well-being of children, delivering vaccinations, nutrition, medical supplies, and mental health support. The World Food Program offers food and cash assistance to those in need. United Nations Population Fund deals with families in Gaza, women's health, health needs of women and girls. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs coordinates humanitarian efforts, including managing the occupied Palestinian Territory Humanitarian Fund. International NGOs. ANERA, American Near East Refugee Aid. Doctors Without Borders, Save the Children. Palestine Red Crescent Society. I can keep going on here. International Committee of the Red Cross, Islamic Relief USA, Mid-East Children's Alliance, United Palestinian Appeal. And then it says that there's one organization you really should not go to. And hold on, I just totally scrolled out of here. And I'll tell you what that organization is. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not even going to list it. So, there are legitimate organizations. Now, what's going to be said? She's going to say, those organizations can't get anything over there. They can't get aid over there. No aid is coming in, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely, there are problems with getting aid over there, 100%. But the fact that she has not shown any proof that what she's giving money to is getting over there and is legitimate, I would much rather send the money that I sent to an NGO that says that the organization has been successful helping people over there. I would rather send my money there, because if it can't be used in that area right now, it could be used in the future or another place that needs help.
Right. And when these organizations are providing aid, such as, food, water, any other type of necessities, they're purchasing and obtaining these items in bulk, huge, huge bulk. So they are able to obviously get those type of things at a much better rate than just a person, such
Right.
as a grandmother from Pennsylvania, is going to be able to purchase them for.
Now,
They
let me
they try to maximize the money that they do get and try to keep their administrative costs as low as possible.
read this. This is very important. Important note: the humanitarian situation in Gaza is complex and subject to change. Always verify the most up-to-date information on any organization you are considering donating to, including their transparency, efficiency, and specific work in Gaza. Organizations like Charity Navigator can provide valuable information about a charity's financial health and impact. Additionally, be aware of organizations like the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation that have faced accusations of politicization and putting civilians at risk. Now, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Patriot Act for a minute. The Patriot Act, formerly known as the Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism Act of 2001, significantly expanded the U.S. government's authority in the fight against terrorism, including enhanced penalties for those who commit and support terrorist operations at home and abroad, and increased government powers to conduct surveillance and track financial transactions. The Patriot Act's relevance to Gaza stems from its role in combating terrorist financing, which includes material support to designated terrorist organizations. Hamas, the militant group controlling Gaza, is designated as hold on, I got to change pictures here. Specially, where am I? A specially designed global terrorist organization by the United States and by a lot of other countries, by the way. Therefore, donating funds or providing other forms of support that could be perceived as benefiting Hamas carries the risk of violating U.S. counterterrorism laws. It is important to note that international humanitarian law requires parties to a conflict to allow and facilitate the rapid and impeded passage of humanitarian aid to civilians in need. However, U.S. sanctions and laws aimed at combating terrorist financing can create complexities for organizations seeking to provide humanitarian assistance in Gaza. So I could tell you right now that absolutely not has she looked into where this money is going, and if it is legitimate. You are supposed to contact a lawyer. You're supposed to have where your money is going vetted by people at the government level to make sure that there is not a possibility that this money is going into the hands of Hamas.
Hmm.
Let me go on here because I have some other. In essence, while the need for humanitarian aid in Gaza is widely recognized, the Patriot Act and related laws mean that individuals and organizations must exercise extreme caution to ensure their donations and activities do not inadvertently provide support to Hamas or violate other counterterrorism measures. It is recommended to only donate through established and vetted charities with a proven track record of delivering aid in a transparent and accountable manner. Period.
Wow. Yeah.
Period. So guess what, Wasty Casey? Since your name is twice on the GoFundMe for a bood, guess what? If the State Department looks into that and they have information that might say that money is not going to where it's supposed to go, you are on the hook for giving money to somebody who may or may not be involved in a terrorist organization. I know he's Canadian, but I have friends up in Canada that'll do something about it. Because I'm sure there are laws in Canada about giving money to a terrorist group, even if you don't know the person is involved.
And that's why you check things out before you send money to anyone or anything. And this is the type of thing that we warn about.
Let's talk about if you violate the U.S. Patriot Act, shall we? Violating the U.S. Patriot Act can result in severe penalties for U.S. citizens, including both civil and criminal charges. Penalties can range from substantial fines to imprisonment, depending on the specific violation and whether it was willful or part of a larger pattern of illegal activity. Additionally, individuals may face a denial of export privileges and forfeiture of assets. Now, that's, I think, kind of more towards if you're a business sending stuff. But financial penalties. Violations can lead to significant fines. For example, a single transaction can result in multiple violations, exponentially increasing the penalties. Let me go on. Let me see where I am here. So civil penalties. Let's see here. I gotta find the right.
Someone in the comments said that she's live right now and
I'm
saying
sure
that
she is.
you're harassing her. Yeah, she
I'm
claimed I
harassing.
was too.
I'm
Yeah.
harassing her with truth. She also said she was going to have us arrested for hate crimes. So, listen, if the truth is harassing her, then she's doing something wrong. Because all I'm doing is reading from the government website. If that's harassment, okay. Asset forfeitures. The government may seize assets related to the violation, such as bank accounts, criminal penalties, imprisonment. Willful violations can result in imprisonment, potentially for several years or even up to 10 years for corporate officers, directors, or agents. So, this organization called Americans Against Injustice, who are the directors? Who are the corporate officers? Who are the agents? Who's sending money there? All of those people would be on the hook if it comes back that anybody involved in this has any ties to Hamas. Fines. Criminal penalties can also include substantial fines, potentially reaching $50,000 per violation.
Wow.
I'm reading. Violating Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC sanctions programs can lead to substantial civil criminal. Domestic terrorism. Didn't she say today? Did she say something about she was going to become a, what did she say? Not a radical. What was the wording? Radical. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go back through it. She said something about becoming almost like a vigilante for the cause or something like that. A radical for the extremist. Yes, extremism. Okay. Engaging in acts of domestic terrorism can result in penalties ranging from life imprisonment to the unaliving penalty. Importance of compliance. Implementing effective compliance programs is crucial to avoid penalties. These programs can help identify potential violations and ensure adherence to the Patriot Act's requirements. Checking customers against terrorist watch lists can help prevent violations related to financial transactions. Seeking legal advice. It's important to seek legal counsel if there are concerns about potential violations or if facing penalties. I guarantee you, she did not look into any of these guys' claims. I guarantee you, the Americans Against Injustice, she did not look into that because how can she? The organization doesn't exist. It's a made-up name for something that a bunch of people started.
Calls it her team.
Her
Whoever that is.
team. Well, her team would be on the hook for this. Since it's her team, I'm glad she admits she's part of the team. So, I have read from the government websites. I have read the organizations, the NGOs that are organizations that have been looked at to in depth. They've been cleared by attorneys for people in the West to donate to that are legitimate organizations with no ties to any terrorist organizations. Absolutely proven 100%. We have showed inconsistencies with what Snark says and what we see on the GoFundMes from the pages and words from the two gentlemen themselves.
From her own words, she's
Yep.
contradicted a lot of things as well that we didn't even bring up. She's contradicted herself many times in her live streams.
Yep. Hey, Unknown. What up?
Hey, now I'm keep talking. I was just gonna turn the screen on and show them the link tree so they can see visibly the link tree that's attached to his name and her name.
Okay, I big boxed it. So take this information, okay, that I have talked about tonight and Scam has talked about and Breezy has talked about and so many people have looked into. Again, I will post all these organizations that are legitimate organizations where it is safe to send your money. If people want to send money to an organization that is legitimate, you can look into my list that I'm going to post or do your own due diligence. We can't say whether or not what she's doing is legal because she won't show anything. Yeah, the link. Yeah, Americans Against Injustice, who, oh, by the way, is run by a Abood.
Yes. That page is run by Abood.
Abood. And look at all the GoFundMes.
Down of those to give also then, Scammy.
How many freaking real organizations that you can send money to? How many GoFundMes to legit organizations post in a link tree on their sites? I can tell you, zero. Zero. I wonder if the UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestine Refugees, I wonder if they post people's GoFundMes. I wonder if UNICEF does. I wonder if the World Food Program does. United Nations Population Fund. United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. I wonder if they post individuals' GoFundMes. I'll tell you, no effing way. No effing way. Oh, Wasty Casey. Huh. But I'll tell you what, y'all. Those people that are openly giving Pam money are going to be under scrutiny if this organization and the people here in the United States that are pushing these GoFundMes through this organization that they are advertising, if it gets looked into and there's a problem.
This the second one. The first one I showed y'all was Clout Chaser for a Cause. This a different with the same link tree, but this one
Yep.
is America's Against Injustice. I'm gonna hit the link tree on this.
Yep. And I'm going to say one more thing about this. And then if anybody has questions, we can see what we can do. Oh, can you go back up there for a minute? Can you go back to the top for a minute? Okay, so this is the one that, yeah, this is Pam. This is the one that Pammy made. Okay, look at how much Wasty Casey has spent. And these are public, folks. You can all look on here. Wasty Casey just donated a couple days ago again. And remember, this is after we've been asking questions about it. So he's donated $72, and then he donated more money a couple months ago. Yeah, he was listed as 2 months ago. He donated 70. All you people that have your names on these GoFundMes, you could be on the hook for sending money to an organization that Snark is sending money to.
Bernadette, wow.
Somebody said where the GoFundMe's posted. There's one under Abood's name, and that's obviously on his account. There's one for Balil, that's on his account. There's one for Mahmoud, that's on his account. And then there's someone named Christine who also has one for Abood, but the name on it is Abdul, and it has a completely different story on it. But it's him because it has. They admitted it was him, and it has the same picture of Abood in the hospital.
Yep.
They can go on. They can go on top a Snark page and hit the link tree out of her page. So if y'all go to her page, y'all can hit that same link tree and it'll take you right to where I just took y'all.
Yep. And you know, piggybacking on what you said, Scam. Remember their excuse? So Abood has 2 GoFundMes, okay? But it's different names. And what was their excuse? Oh, well, you know, one of them's a nickname and one of them is his given name. That's a pile of crap. Because he's smart enough to realize if you put in his name, every single GoFundMe with that exact name is going to pop up. But if you don't know what his quote unquote nickname is, which I think is a pile of crap, I think it's a name so he could have a second GoFundMe for double dipping or triple dipping or whatever.
Right, because the second one under the name of Abdul just talks about his cancer treatment, and it doesn't mention anything about his wife or children or
None
his
of them
family.
do.
Like none of that whole
None of the
situation.
GoFundMe's list. He never mentions his wife and kids. I don't even know if he has wife and kids because he
Right.
never talks about them.
Someone named JC says knock knock. They want to add something to that, so I guess they want a box.
Sure. Welcome up, girl.
Hey, girly. I was just going to ask Unknown why she has the floor over there doing that. Somebody was saying, you know, that song we heard earlier, they have it pinned on their link tree to that stuff, to the bio. And the
Right.
ones that weren't here, I would, if she could just show where that's at and show what song they have attached to that actual, you know, GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just so, if you could go back to that link tree and show.
did you hear me, sis? Sorry.
I heard you. I heard
Yes.
you.
So this the second one, y'all. This the other one. The first one we showed was from Abu, and this one the one for.
Allow.
So this the second one.
Yep. And you know, it's funny because she said, "How dare Scammy show the background pictures of his children? They're on a public GoFundMe.
Right, they
So get
posted this
over
stuff.
yourself. Get over yourself, Snark. At least they're not
Many do
people."
they have? I've come across one for Bilal, one for Mahmoud, and 2 for Abood. You know, one is in the name of Abdul. But there also are some other fundraising sites that are, you know, similar to GoFundMe. They have different names. I've been trying to search to see if they have any on any of those. I haven't found them yet, but you know, there could be. Like this is still
Absolutely. And
ongoing. It's still an
right.
ongoing search. It's
We're
still
not
an ongoing search.
stopping. We're not stopping in terms of finding out more information. But as I said, this is the last time I'm wasting my lives talking about this because you can only put out so much information before somebody with common sense will say, "Wait a minute. Something's not right here." Whoa.
Another one. This the third one. It's plenty of them. Like I'm telling y'all, if
That
y'all do y'all
one's,
research, it
but
is a lot, a lot.
but
This is another one now,
yeah,
and
but
they,
that
they
one,
got different names on them.
I don't
yeah,
think
I
this
don't.
is
I
the
mean,
same people.
no, it's not the
Oh, it
same. That's what I'm
is.
saying. That's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the
People.
same name, but all of them in the same group. Like they changed the names. I'm like I tagged all of the names that was inside of the
Oh,
donors and
that's by
stuff,
Christina.
and
Isn't
it
that the
took
same
me.
girl?
No, that's
Yes,
not the
these
Oh,
same.
it's
the
not.
That's not the same
no,
Christina. That's not the
they
same
got the
Christina.
it's not. They got a different last name on each one of them. Y'all gonna have to pay attention to that. The name's gonna change, the
Right.
spelling gonna change, and the last name gonna change. So pay attention to this shit, y'all. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a
This
lot,
another one though.
and that's why you got to be careful because the name like Abood is very common. Okay, so when you're looking for these GoFundmes, you have to make sure it's the same people. You have to
Yeah, I
make
mean,
sure
I don't want to say that these other ones are scams because we haven't researched them. I can't.
exactly,
I've
exactly,
come across. There's literally hundreds, probably thousands out there, on
right,
GoFundMe to help a whole bunch of people, in Gaza, families, individuals, whatever. We haven't looked into those to know for sure. We've looked into these.
exactly.
We've looked into these, and are confident in that. I don't want to say that any of those other ones are definitely, but again, before donating any of them, you should research. You should definitely research it.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing I think we all can agree on. Okay, I think what she said either yesterday, I think it was yesterday when she was talking to a friend of hers who's in on this whole thing too. Her name is Kat, and she has posts of the two GoFundMe's and the two gentlemen that have the GoFundMe's created by Pam. She was talking to Kat, and she said to her, Kat, tell her what you know how she gets all riled up. Tell her what we talked about. Tell them what we talked about. Tell them what we talked about. So, Kat was a little confused, and then she cleared it up. They had discussed going over to the West Bank and staying with Abood, and Snark said she wasn't coming back. She was planning on staying there. Now, as a parent, I'm going to tell you one thing. Why the hell would you want to bring a child into a war zone, as you call it? Why would you want to do that? That makes absolutely no sense. That's the first thing. But the second thing is this. As a former educator, I happen to look into what the educational situation is in that part of the world. And especially when you have a special needs child, what type of services that you can get over there. Snark, you're not going to get anything. There's no help over there. So in terms of that, you may not even want to joke about that because there's going to be major problems in terms of trying to do the best. We want to do the best for our kids, okay? That's probably not the best decision. But I will tell you this, Snark. I will tell you that one GoFundMe I would absolutely donate to is if you are so serious about moving out of this country and going over to the West Bank and staying there for good, I will donate to that. I will absolutely donate to you getting the hell out of the country that you hate so much.
You know what's so funny to me, Scammy? Earlier, when Snark was in her live ranting her and Wasted Casey, she was threatening all of the people with the YouTube channel, saying that she was gonna get everybody YouTube channels taken down and then not nobody post her lives no more. And it's so crazy that I'm on YouTube and all of her, it's like all of her lives gone. That's interesting, Pam, because earlier y'all was concocting up a plan and you said anybody who posts your live, you was reporting them. That's
Well,
kind of
what
interesting.
and you know
That makes me want to start posting them. That
and
makes me want to start posting them because I have an attorney to fight all of that stuff. So that makes me want to post her lives. Definitely.
and you know what? Again, who does that? People that are scamming. People
With
who
stuff to hide. People who don't
people
want their stuff. If she wanted to spread the word about these, GoFundMe's and about donating, and if she wanted her word spread, to an even farther platform and have her voice out there even more. Why would she not want that? Why would she want to hold that back? That doesn't make any sense. Only people who have something to
Exactly.
hide
But
want to do that.
again, Scam, we offered each of those gentlemen $300 plus each if she would show where the money went. For somebody that really cares about these gentlemen and their families and their situations and their needs and necessities to go on day by day, if you were really serious about that, you would want us to send money to help them out. But your problem is you either don't want to show the proof because you're hiding something, and I do think that there's something fishy going on, or you don't have the proof.
And I agree with you because if you think about it, when they first started this, let's not forget that they was on everybody panel. They was everywhere clout chasing for the cause because that's the name that they came up with. And it's so, if you think about it, the people that was a clout chasing for a cause, a lot of them quiet right now. But Sunshine, Pam, and Casey, they've been fighting tooth and nail. But the other people, what happened to them? That's kind of interesting also.
So she said it was blood money. Of course. I told you she was going to come up with something. Listen,
I think they will want
Pam
people to
always,
see.
Pam
It'll bring
always,
more people to donate. I think if everybody
exactly,
knew,
exactly.
everybody would donate.
There were a lot of people that were going to donate if it was a legitimate organization, and she blew it. And you know what? If money stops coming into this group, they have her to thank for it because she could not be transparent like every organization that collects money from people. She couldn't do it. But I tell you, again, Pam, if you want to get out of this country, we all support you on that. You start a GoFundMe for that. You figure out how much money you need to get over there. You figure out how much money it's going to cost to get rid of all the stuff in your house. You let us know how much that is. And if you guarantee that you're going to stay out of the United States and you're going to stay there, and if you don't leave and you take that money for something else, we will sue you. We will sue you for defrauding us. But if you really want to get out this badly, make a GoFundMe because I will be the first to donate it to it. Because people like you, we do not need in this country. You don't like our country. You don't like the military. You don't like veterans. You lied about a veteran threatening you when I showed the messages where you threatened him first.
Even that, she threatened come on now, let's talk about it. And you know what I don't.
Everybody.
Yeah, when you went live, she instantly went live and lied. I'm talking about boldface lied and said that Scammy was gonna call the SSI people on her, was saying that they was talking about her grandchild, and it was a boldface lie. We was sitting her in the live streaming her, and she literally lied like somebody was attacking her. Then the next day she came on crying, and that's another thing that she do. She play on people's heartstrings. She garner sympathy, coming with them trauma ass stories, saying crazy shit. Nobody clocks her ass though. Nobody can approach her, but she can be around the app approaching everybody, hollering at motherfuckers, demanding receipts from everybody else. But you telling me the one time somebody ex Miss Pam, aka TikTok Snark, aka Big Bad Wolf on TikTok, she can't show no receipts? That's interesting as fuck.
And also, she calls it blood money, but I would take any kind of money if it was a dire situation. Wouldn't any of y'all?
That's how you know it's bullshit. That lady ain't never said on no receipts, and the fact that she deflect and talk about everything else but that GoFundMe when we talking about it is crazy. And the fact that Sunshine is upholding her and admitted that, oh yeah, I still clone cash apps the other day, that's crazy.
Listen, and she's talking about how, oh, I'm the biggest bullier on this app, and I bully people, and this and that. And she brought up, and I was I was streaming her this morning, and there sits Dora right in the box below her, and she's calling me the biggest bully on TikTok. After the live last night, we know everything that's Dora's done on this app. Okay? To call me the biggest bully on this app while Dora's sitting in there, yeah, I don't think so.
I know
I
you
don't. She said.
fine.
She said, "Well, with what you did to Jen, what did I do? I brought awareness to Jen, and when she
Wow.
stopped asking for money and she stopped posting her financial apps, I stopped streaming her. Unlike them, who continued and continued and continued. And you know what? I apologized to Jen last year after she stopped begging. I said to her, I'm glad you're not posting that anymore. Good luck.
Scammyclaus, that's a deflection to take it off
Absolutely.
what our mission is. They do this every time.
Yep.
Just like a few minutes ago, they were streaming and somebody was over there trying to say, "Well, Scammyclaus did this," and it's crazy because every time somebody trying to bring something to the light and bring awareness, y'all always try to shut the truth down. I've noticed
Yep.
that y'all like
Yep.
lies. Y'all do not like the truth. Motherfucker can give y'all all the receipts, but y'all have y'all mind made up and y'all run with lies. And like today, these people showing receipts of this shit. Shit,
Yep.
Pam ain't show one receipt to y'all. She ain't even show y'all the receipt for the cow. So like I'm just concerned right now. Where's all this money going, Lysandra?
Well,
Yep.
somebody mentioned something in the comments that made me think about something. And again, this is just a question. Just a question. Do you guys recall how, Florida Man came across some money all of a sudden and donated it to a GoFundMe? I wonder if he donated to any of these GoFundMes.
To get rid of money that he was holding on to that was dirty? Mayhaps. Mayhaps. I want to play you. I played you a couple last week, a voice message that Snark left on Duchess's voicemail. Because Duchess was in my live. We were talking about these GoFundMes that Pam had started, and we had questions about it. Duchess was concerned about the money, reached out to her via text, I'm assuming, and asked Snark if she could have her money back. Snark went off on her, calling her names, belittling her, all of this stuff. I have the voicemail of that. This is another voicemail that I just got today, okay? And I'm going to play this. Because remember, she's the one being bullied and she's being threatened. And, she is, like she likes to call people, she's a professional victim. She's a professional victim.
She a
We're,
rage
we're
baiter too.
bullying her. We're harassing her. Guardians of Valor is doing the same thing. We're committing hate crimes against her. She said she was getting POs. She sounds just like these people I cover. These scammers and beggars on TikTok. It's like rather than answering questions, it's deflection. Oh, she's a Zionist. She supports children being offed in Gaza. She doesn't have any proof of that, but she'll throw this shit out against a wall to see if it sticks. And you know what? The problem is this, Snark. Enough people know who I am on this app, and they've seen what I do on this app, and there is absolutely nothing unless we consider the stuff that you're making up that you think I am. There's nothing that points to any of that.
And not even this scammy, just thinking about it. Earlier I had seen the comment to her and I had to think about this. She be going after them people on the other side, like the KP and kissing situation.
Yep.
The
I didn't hear that part. I think you got cut out a little bit.
Like she literally be attacking other people,
Oh,
asking them
yes.
for receipts. When
Yes.
it's her turn, oh, it's a problem, and it's
Listen,
kind of crazy.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on this app that live by the do as I do, not as I say. Okay? She has done enough shitty stuff on this app where she has so many creators that don't like her for some reason, that have called her out for some reason. And I'm finding out about this after I started calling her out for these GoFundMes. She wants to say it's because she sits with Florida Man. No, it's because you were going after victims of Florida Man. But the fact that you admit that you hang with Florida Man and you're okay with him is yet another building block of what your character is all about. So I'm glad you threw that out there. But let me play this audio clip, okay? Because I don't want to stay on here much longer.
I'm going to make it real short what you did today, okay? Bilal, my friend that you sent the money to, his children, malnourished, literally starving to death, okay? Abood, the other man, this was months ago. I'm updating you on these men. He has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 family members in less than a week. The newest last night and today, dead, blown up. So all these things that you did in good faith to then turn around and go to a woman that does not know anything about what's going on and talk badly and lie about a cash app that did not exist. Lady, I feel horrible for you. I really do. I feel horrible.
Here comes the crime.
That you did this in some type of humanitarian effort, and now you're doing what you're doing. It's incorrigible. I cannot believe abhorrent behavior like this. I can't understand it. I'm literally hurt to my core. I am, for these men and everything they're going through. And then for you to do what you did in that live was terrible. And I just want you to know that.
And again, what she did in the live, she said that she had sent her money and is now questioning whether or not the money went to a legitimate cause. That's what she did.
Say that Bilal's family members are starving because he's the
right. He said that they are literally starving.
okay.
I've seen the pictures.
Oh my God.
They don't look like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
And I
gonna
want to
lie.
like you get through Scam. I want to play another clip of her how she was talking the other day, just in her panel when she was saying like we gonna have to be digging for a lot, and they kind of raised the eyebrow for me, the stuff she be saying.
Yeah, play it. I'm all for it. Any proof?
Motherfucker right in my pocket. On live. Auf Gaza. It definitely was. Run over to socialsecurity.gov. Can you find where it's custodial over website? And I know you trust the government. You hop your happy ass over there and read it to the people.
Palestine. Okay, she actually has some very good things. And again, there's a lot of stuff on her website or on her TikTok page that I agree with. We have similar beliefs about, different political things in this country. Kat was the one actually that was making comments on Scam Slam's videos. Okay, so harassing her, no. She was making comments on the videos. Wide definition for words that she wants to be victims of. Harassment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She called the police on you?
She said she was going
Threatened.
to.
Wow.
She's
Yeah, I was
And she
gonna
said she
say
was going to get a restraining order on me. Thinks I'm wrong, but it's clearly like all you got to do is Google it. You
Right.
know,
And but see again, this is the problem. This is one of the problems with snark. When you talk or when she's listening in on my live, she doesn't listen. She's always constantly thinking of the next thing she's going to say, usually pretty nasty. And you explained the reason why you were able to get that PO on him.
it's in Indiana, and that's where the offense
Exactly.
occurred.
Exactly. But
But
Snark didn't hear
they
that
were
though.
yeah. She was saying, how could she get one on Florida Man? They were unless they were in a relationship. It's like no, it's not in Pennsylvania. It's in Indiana. Why do you think I had to drive 10 hours there and 10 hours back? Why do you think I had to like do everything I did to compile
Silver
filing paperwork in Indiana? I
Silver
mean,
Swift, Silver Swifty, she has GoFundMe set up for these guys.
it's to $1,972. Now, there is also one for Mahmood, and I know that Pam did not create this one, but she does speak with Mahmood. He comes in the boxes. She's explained that he's a very close friend of Abood's. You know, they are in photos together and everything else. So if you add Mahmood's in, Mahmood's was also started by Christine in Canada, and so his is in Canadian dollars. Actually, Bilal's I think is in U.S. dollars. Maybe
But
she did sponsor his,
you know
but
what the thing,
anyway.
you know what the thing is, Scam? I looked at this stuff too a while back, and I did a monetary exchange between American money
Yes, I
to
did
the,
too.
okay, and how much does that equal?
So the one on Mahmoud's is $753 in Canadian, which comes out to $545.49 in United States dollars. So if you total up all three of those GoFundMe's of what's been collected at this point, it is $2,517.49.
And that's just the GoFundMe's.
That's just those three GoFundMe's that we've been able to find for monies collected for Abood, Bilal, and Mahmoud.
And transfer that over. I believe the currency they use there is the IRL, I think. Transfer that. This is what I did. I looked up how much money was collected. I transferred like the Canadian into American, and then I did the exchange rate, you know, or the cash equivalent to what it is that they're getting in Gaza. And the amount of
Oh,
money that
okay.
they're getting from these GoFundMe's is ridiculous.
Yeah, so we'd
To
have to
what it
look
would
up what
equate.
the actual value is there for $2,517.49.
And you know what you do? This is the interesting part. When you have time, and I would, if I were you, make a post to this later. Okay, change it over to the currency that they use, and take a look at what the average income of somebody in Gaza was prior to October 7th, 2023,
Wait a minute.
and it will blow your
Can
mind.
I say something, ladies, for a minute? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Trailer Park, did you say
In line.
and it said think that if someone is feeling attacked, they will not be receptive to being attacked to listen. Nobody's
Well,
attacking. We've offered money to the GoFundMe if she put up the receipts, even just to her donors.
and this is the other thing, JC. I've gotten screenshots of her lives and the comments that people made about me in there, so she has nothing to complain about.
He said, what you said, Scammy, how her and Sunshine sat over there all last week and tore me to shreds, talked about how uneducated I was, how dumb, how stupid, and so on and so forth. So you think we give a damn right now? No, fuck her.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
yeah. I don't have if people are speaking their mind in there like they do in her live, because as she says also, she has freedom of speech, and she can say what she wants. So if she's boo-hooing, and she's probably crying again because people are saying stuff about her in there, guess what? Tough shit. Because it happens in your live too.
I didn't see
And
anything
if that's
like
Megan,
I
if
didn't see
that's
anything
Megan,
like that,
fuck
and I
her.
haven't seen anybody bring that to our attention. So
They ain't. They trying to derail. And if that's Megan, fuck her too. Let's not talk about them scheming and scamming the GoFunds too now. We gonna get into that later. Y'all you just be still.
Yep.
Cause I'm need y'all to go over there and question Snark. The fact that y'all questioning people with receipts is crazy.
Exactly.
I think it's
Exactly.
Megan's friend is what they're
Yeah,
saying.
no. Trailer Park Barbie, that's not Megan.
That's Megan and the audacity for her to ask any question when we still asking questions. And she cursed me out so bad. I got a clip of her talking so bad to me because I mentioned something about the GoFundMe that they had for, somebody, and we still ain't saw the receipts on that. So yeah, it's just crazy how people got so much to say.
Trailer Park Barbie, we know you're not Megan. She's Trailer Park Trixie. We know that. We know that.
Something to you. I don't know what it was. She
I
said,
know. I know you're not. I know you're not.
"Yeah, it's not."
I know you're not. But so listen, again, the whole point of tonight was showing proof. The whole point of tonight was showing out inconsistencies. But again, this is the thing. People that are go to her lives are not going to ask her about any of this, because if they do ask her, they know she's going to go off on them and they're going to be blocked. Because there people over there that are afraid to have a conversation with her about this and ask her questions, they have no balls. Somebody who has balls, that sees people sending money and there's no transparency on where it's going, should ask tough questions. And if you're not doing anything wrong, you should be able to answer those questions. None of that is what Snark does. So, all the information I put out, and again, I'm going to put stuff out in posts tonight. I as
And
with
Scammy, didn't she say the other day on live that she was sending over the receipts to Smashley? And I
yes,
ain't never heard nothing back from that. What, am I crazy or did we hear that?
no,
we did
I
hear
have
that.
Okay, okay,
I
just making
haven't,
sure.
yeah, and I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything. Smash hasn't talked about it, and I don't know if she even will. But just like, and I'm telling you, there are so many parallels.
null and void, because we knew that was a
I
negative.
just had to freaking say it. You know I did.
Yeah. So and okay, so answer this question. If that's the case, okay? Why would she send it to somebody that has um
I would be attacking the shit out of them ladies. Y'all already won't give up talking about some her and Lisa Richards, like y'all reached so far. But imagine if it was Scammyclaus and Scam Slam asking y'all to donate for a cow. Y'all would be attacking and taking their heads off. But I guess it's because it's somebody else and y'all pick and choose. It's cool for them to do it. That's crazy to me.
exactly.
Yep, not on their necks
Exactly.
for nothing.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And you know, again, I hope that if one person has opened their eyes tonight that was thinking about donating and doesn't do it, it's a win, because then we've gotten our point across. If it's more people than that, even better. And hopefully those people that were willing or thinking about donating to it will donate to an organization that has, a track record of doing the right thing with the money. As I said, I am not going to continue on with, having lives about snark, because it's just not worth it. We've put out everything tonight. If it didn't open,
And they put a claim on it and got their money back. Because other than that, I don't know why the amount would go down by $10 on the amount collected.
I know
So
someone
I
got
would
a re.
encourage.
Somebody said I know someone got a refund.
Okay. So, I mean, if anyone, wants to go that route, it does look like someone at least got their $10 back, because there's a $10 difference from when I originally looked at it and when I looked at it today. So, if you feel like you've been scammed, then definitely, go through whatever processes with, GoFundMe, with your bank, with whatever electronic payment method that you can. And since she has shown anyone who has asked, how many times have we asked? Like, I can't even count right now. I can't even count how many times we've asked for the receipts.
But she's not going to show them to us because we're calling her out on it.
Well, she's not even going to show them to her own donators.
No, she's got a problem. Part of her personality is she doesn't want people telling her what to do. Okay, but again, with something like this, that really can't factor into it, because when you're using other people's money to send somewhere and you're not showing where it's going, yeah, that's a problem. I believe she's getting a cut of the money too. Absolutely. That's why she won't show the receipts. That's what I've been saying.
And Trailer Park Barbie is
It
saying,
showed.
I can see the hate in here was crazy while I was in here. I don't
Well,
know who.
what hate?
We're not even hating anybody over. We're not even hating anybody over here. We just asking for receipts.
She
Like,
said she had a screenshot if you want to look at that and see if it tells us anything. But like I said, when we were in the comments,
Do
there
that
was
to
only
the
one.
they do that to derail the live, y'all. That's a derailment. Like, come on now, because everybody in here being respectful. Ain't nobody said nothing out of line. They coming in here to derail the live. That's all. Cause come on now. And if they wanted to talk, they could have requested a box. Like she letting people up.
And
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
this
know
is
if she takes boxes.
and this is the other thing that again, as you said, trying to derail the live. I have seen screenshots of comments in her lives about me that were not very nice. And as Pammy says all the time, she's got freedom of speech. She could say what she wants, right?
threatened to unalive you, and then
I
she
know.
said that she wished that you and I would both suffocate in a tomb. What?
She be saying some real nasty, disturbing things, and the fact that nobody even speaks up and be like, you know, that's kind of wrong, or you know, that's kind of harsh, because she literally said she was gonna unalive this lady
Yep.
because this lady asked for receipts. She didn't ask her for no money. She ain't ask her for a handshake. She just asked her to show a receipt, and she gonna take the lady out of here, gonna unalive her over a goddamn receipt. That's crazy.
Hello. Welcome up, trailer.
Hi, I'm not Megan.
No, I know. I know you're not. I know you're not.
And I'm not a person that would want to derail any type of live or anything. I was just speaking to some of the comments because I had a lady message me
Mm-hmm.
really upset and bawling because she just had some questions and someone by the name of Texas Tiff told her, girl, bye. And I mean, it was just sent to me on here too by something with a Christmas tree. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just saying, it was just crazy. It was nobody inside the boxes or anything. It's just some of the comments in here were
Right.
just crazy.
Have you
And I
been
know
in?
that it's not your fault or
No,
anything.
I know, but
Go ahead.
have you been in Snark's lives and have you seen the comments about me?
Yes, I have. I've been in a couple times. I don't go on
So
lives as much.
who is being rude to you? Because I've been looking at the comments. Who is being rude? Let's call them
Wait,
out.
wait, wait,
Because one
wait.
thing about it, we don't go for the disrespect. So who was being rude to you? Call them out.
Oh, wait a minute.
I
Texas
think it was
Tiff
something
wants up.
Tracy.
There she
Okay,
I
is.
have
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
never
Wait a
in my
minute. Wait a
life
minute. Wait a
said
minute.
girl
Wait a minute.
bye.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before we go there, I just want to make sure that Trailer Park and I agree on something. So you've been in there and you've seen the nasty comments in it about me, right?
I've seen a couple. I did hear body shaming, which I'm not a
Right.
big fan of
Right.
at all.
So, but you know what the thing is? See, I don't, you expect that in lives, right? When you're holding a live like this, and there are people that don't agree with the person that we have, that the topic is about, you're going to have people, as Snark says, freedom of speech. They can say what they want. The same thing happens in her lives. The thing is, though, I don't complain about that because people do that all the time in lives. But again, she's picking and choosing what she's going after, and or people are upset because we're saying these things. The same thing happens in her lives. You know what I mean? It
And I
happens to everybody.
agree because I feel like when people become on the defense, they're not receptive to hearing what receipts you're bringing. And I see that on
Exactly.
across the board with
Oh,
everybody.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I know what I typed in there, and I said that there was no hate because the comment was there's a lot of hate in here in the chat. And I said there is no hate on our side, but you can feel free to exit if you feel uncomfortable.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And she had made a couple comments, she said, and then she just got berated with, what are you doing in here? And because she was just surprised, she said that she saw a lot of Petty's people in here.
I was watching the chat as well as Feral Tracy with the Christmas trees. Neither one of us said girl bye or get out of
Oh
here.
no, the girl by was to me. Farrell Tracy said that to
I,
me.
well, you just said I said it.
No, I didn't. I said Farrell
No, she
Tracy
said
said
the
it.
person with the Christmas trees.
Well, she said Texas Tiff, and then she said someone with Christmas
No,
trees.
the
Well,
So
Texas tip was for the Blanche because Blanche came and messaged me and she was super
no, no,
upset
no,
because
no.
she
Hold on. Let me.
followed Scammy.
Right, right. Listen, 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 listen. Um, people say things in chats all the time in everybody's life. Okay, there's constant conversations back and forth with people. I don't have a problem with anybody being in here. If they go sideways and they start being extremely rude, then yeah, I have a problem with it. But again, this stuff happens across the boards in lives. The difference is 9 out of 10 times we don't block the people. We let them say what they want to say without muting or blocking, and we only do that under very rare circumstances. But there's always going to be discord in a chat. There's always going to be people that don't agree with each other, and that goes back and forth. Like I said, in everybody's chat. So if somebody is saying something to somebody in here and they may get hurt by it, it happens all the time. TikTok, you have to have a thin skin. And again, I've seen screenshots of things that said about me in Snark's live. I don't care about that because I understand how this works. So, if anybody is getting hurt by comments that you're making, you have to be able to debate and you have to be able to have a conversation back and forth. And if it's bothering you, you don't have to be in here. We say that all the time. Everybody says that all the time.
And
And
I agree that it's just like
But
she
nobody
was
was
just
being
sad.
disrespectful. But Trailer, but nobody was being disrespectful, and you taking what she said and you adding it into what's going on tonight. Because if somebody reached out to you because they was treated badly, why they couldn't have reached out to Scam and she right here and it's actively happening? Like that's crazy. That
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I've had people reach out to me if they felt like something, they were upset by something or they didn't understand something or they wanted clarification on, a comment, whatever. I mean, I'm not sure why she didn't contact the host or didn't contact maybe Texas Tiff, since
Correct.
and
I
she's
mean,
that's my
both
point
Trailer
complaining
of
and I
about
are
her
view.
Skimmy's
specific
mom.
comment. Like,
Right.
go to the source. I'm not sure why they
That's
went
my
to a
point
third.
of
Not
derailing
sure
the
why they went to
lie.
a third party. It's kind of
Right to
weird.
derail. That's the derailing part right there. Like perfect example because it's like no way. Like come on, y'all.
And I know
And
this
was
team
it
over
was
here.
a disrespectful thing you said because somebody told her bye?
Well,
No,
I
that
know
was to
this team we
me.
Okay,
stand.
so what it
There
was
We
was like a
stand
then?
by
couple
Scammy.
things. I mean, I only just came in here to listen to see
Right.
and listen for myself. I'm not one of those that just take people's word for things, and I like to listen to everybody.
I
And
was
that's
just wondering what
exactly
was
what
so
you should do.
rude.
That's exactly what you should do. But listen, let's not, let's not stray too far, from that. Again, people say stuff in chats, people say stuff back and forth with chats, especially if they don't agree with what the host is doing. It
Well,
happens all the time. We don't
back on topic
we
though.
we only block people if it goes really sideways. Again, I'm going to use Snark's own words. She has freedom of speech to say what she wants to say. In a chat, I believe people have freedom of speech to a point where it doesn't get to a point where it's, just absolutely disgusting to say. So, people are going to disagree. If you have a problem with something somebody said and you're in here, just tell us. You know what I mean?
So back on the subject though of receipts, Scammy. I'm
And
just
we
gonna want to.
apologize, Trailer, if you did get a take on my behalf. I want to apologize to you because I know that Scammy
I
don't
was like,
allow it, and we visiting her live. So on my behalf, I want to apologize if you was, got a rude comment because it wasn't intentional, and it's just coming from me because I don't want
Yeah.
you to feel
No,
uncomfortable.
no.
I've been in your lives on my other account, and so you know me on the other account. This is just the one that I listen to anti-scam. It's got all
Mhm.
crazy beggars on this live. And
Right.
on the other one, I go in your lives all the time unknown. I love your lives.
I think you got content on your other page. So I follow you. Yes, I like your
Yeah.
content. Okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. Hey, girl.
Sammy's on the move. I see the
This is just
camera.
ones I play with Barbies on and do skits, just like fun.
Right.
So I'm not like any
Family's moving
mean or
around.
anything. And I didn't mean to derail the live in any way. I was just bringing up something.
No,
That was it.
Well, I
Girl,
just
you
want to
good.
point
we
out that
appreciate
there are
it.
so many pages that went crazy, and I said it before over Dax Emery when he was raising money for, breast cancer awareness with Susan G. Komen and for Toys for Tots. Like I know the homies tore into him bad, so did others. And the thing was is everyone wanted to see his damn receipts because he was raising money. He was using his platform to raise money
Yep.
and everyone tore
Yep.
into
I remember that.
him
So
like
this is
crazy.
nothing new.
Right. So why
Exactly,
is
Tiff.
it bad
His
that we
lives
want to
used to
see
be
receipts?
recorded, like they used to be on
Yep.
repeat. I had to catch on to a live one day. I'm like, I just saw this live. Like he had the his lives on repeat, y'all. Like he had this shit set up
Yeah. It was
so
his team
freaking
doing it, and then they were saying
yes.
that other people were doing it, but it was his team. So why is it so different, when we want his receipts versus her receipts? She's raising money for some.
They have to cash it out to a bank and then have to send it again. I think Scammy mentioned that earlier in the live, but still the money cannot go directly to them. So it definitely got to go to a third party, fourth party type stuff for the money to even get to where it got to go. So make sure y'all keep that in mind.
Yep. Yep.
The money on GoFundMe, there's also a fee that's going to be cut out. And I'm pretty sure whoever they're siphoning it through is going to take a fee.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Tiff, for clarifications.
Not a
For letting me
problem.
know, I'm gonna hop down. Thank y'all so much. I'm so glad that y'all had this live. I really appreciate it. Like I think people definitely needed to hear this. Um, then they can go and make their own decision, put it out there. I think now it's like y'all can do what y'all want, and I appreciate the live. I'm gonna hop down though.
Me too.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Adam.
Scammy, and thank you, Scam Slam. Sorry about that. Y'all did
Thanks,
good tonight.
CC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me up to explain and make it easier. I really
Hey, no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thanks, Felix. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. And I'm still going to keep digging. I'm still going to be looking at GoFundmes. I'm still going to be looking at all that stuff. That's not going to stop. But what I'm not going to do is be spending hours on here. I'm not going to be streaming her. I'm not going to be bringing any more awareness to her because there's nothing else we can say, nothing else we can show about her. We've shown everything tonight. We've shown everything. It's just not worth wasting my platform on somebody that, herself on her page has videos of people that are considered scammers on here. And the audacity of her doing what she's doing and thinking that nobody's going to ask questions. Some of the stuff I read off so people have it and they can refer back to it. Scam, I'm going to talk to you off the app. Guardians of Valor.
not sure if something looks like a scam or something like that, I'd be happy to look into it further for you.
And remember, just as recently as a couple weeks ago, and I think it's still up, Gabby had a GoFundMe up that people were ripping into, because she is asking for money for something that's so ridiculous that is untrue that people ripped into her for it. So there's no difference. There's no difference from what we're doing with this than other awareness people, and even not awareness people that, go into Gabby's lives and all that have asked questions about it. There's no difference. The difference is when you get this much blowback and when the person's responses to what you're asking, 90% of them are just words to describe the person. Again, that is a huge red flag, and I think what Snark is up to is no good. I think that there's something that there's a reason why she's not putting any information out there, and maybe she's being scammed, and if she is, that's on her because she didn't do her research. So, but other than that, I'm gonna get off here, guys. It's been a long live. I want to thank my mods. I know we had a lot of people in here tonight, and I absolutely thank you for everything you've done, and I support everything you do in here. I have my mods have been here for a long time, and one of the most important things is it's a mutual respect that I have for them and they have for me. And I know that they are in here for the best interest of me and the platform. And I will go to the mat for them every single time. Every